Nice and slow. Easy. Nice and slow.
That city tournament. What an occasion, huh? Oh, Freund. Good doggy, good boy.
I'm sorry.
I apologize.
I went to the wrong place. I'm not even sure which part is the mining district. That's my main issue still. I guess, yeah. How do you get in?
Hey! Hey! Open up! Open up!
Kurwa, what are you doing, Moishe?
Futsa Kapora, piece of junk. Never mind. We'll cut this shit down.
Sprich deine Gebete, Arschloch!
Oh wait, these are the
What
Jews.
the fuck was that?
I came to help you guys, and now you're gonna fucking kill me? Really?
What the fuck was that?
No wonder people don't trust you.
What the fuck was that?
Okay, bro, you've said the same line 5 times.
For God's sake! You've injured him!
Hey, he started it.
Das stimmt.
Fuck you! What the fuck?
Come on, then.
Wait! Don't kill him!
You're gonna beg for mercy? After this?
We can make a deal. We have some of your people, we can exchange them.
Our people? What the hell are you talking about?
We caught some of them yesterday, trying to get to Liechtenstein, just like you.
No, I'm after Liechtenstein because I need to talk to him. I'm not his enemy. But if you know where he is, you better take me to him. Right now.
I have my orders. I'm not supposed to let anyone near him. Especially not someone who just beat my 2 best men. I'm not a fool.
Right. I'll go unarmed. If that'll convince you.
I'll trust you. But in return, you have to trust me. You can't see where we're going.
I'm assuming that was a W for Venceslas, but I could be completely wrong.
All right. But no tricks.
Those are the rules.
Wait, who is that somewhere?
We will soon find out. Let us in.
Wenches or the neighbour's daughter, any dirt you can dig up. Off you go! Oh, who have you brought now, Sam?
I'm not entirely sure. But he says he knows you, and absolutely insisted he had to talk to you.
Ah. Of course. Henry. Lord Capon of Perkstein's page. We met on my visit to Rattay. He's all right.
Lord Capon's escort and bodyguard.
Quite. Quite. Oh, but tell me, what brings you here?
Well, that's quite a long story, sir.
Well, I've got plenty of time, and actually I enjoy long stories. You know why? Because they demand a lot of wine. Please, take a seat and tell me everything. If I'm not mistaken, Jobst sent you to von Berkhoff with a message. How did that go?
Not well. As we were approaching Trotsky, we were attacked by bandits. They killed all our men.
What?
We only got away by a hair's breadth. And we lost everything, including the message. We ended up in rags, like beggars. They wouldn't let us into the castle. After that, we tried to get by as best we could.
Good God! I need a drink now. But did you manage to deliver the message in the end?
We did.
And? What was von Berkhoff's reaction?
That bastard first used us, and then wanted to get rid of us. We only just avoided being killed.
Sacre. So there's no chance the League of Lords will turn against Sigismund?
No chance. On the contrary, von Berghoff and von Aulitz came here to Kuttenberg to be at Sigismund's beck and call.
Christ. And what are you doing here, actually?
I came here with a man called Zizka.
Zizka? Jan Zizka of Trotsnov?
You know him?
Of course I do. Zizka is in the service of Prokop of Luxembourg, King Wenceslas's cousin.
Aye, we found that out as well. What was strange was that his band was infiltrated by Istvan Toth, if you remember.
That rat from Talmberg. What was he doing there?
It turned out he was spying for von Berghoff. But he didn't do a great job, fortunately. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here.
I am starting to get confused.
That makes two of us. Maybe we'll understand better if we get drunk.
You're not holding back, I see. Your health, then. After Zizka took us prisoner, it finally became clear we were on the same side, and Istvan had to flee.
So the fucker's still alive?
Not any longer.
You? Well done. Let's drink to that.
To our enemy's death.
Just when we thought we were out of the woods and Istvan was gone, he appeared outside the walls of Nabokov again, with von Berghoff and Markvart von Aulitz. Von Aulitz was on his way to Kuttenberg with reinforcements for Sigismund. And with the finger of God.
With the what?
A bombard.
Good Lord!
Have you ever seen one? I hadn't, until they used it against us.
I've heard about the bombard. An infernal weapon. Then what?
We didn't have a chance. They blew the tower to pieces and took us all prisoner. They took us to Trotsky and tortured us. But with the help of a woman who works with Zizka, we managed to escape.
Zizka. That man always has a trick or two in reserve.
Thank God. While we were making our escape, I crossed paths with Toth, and finally took my revenge for everything he did.
Dull moment with you, I see. To happy endings, then. And where is Lord Capon? Or should I call him the Prince of Poachers?
Well, the most fitting thing to call him would be hostage, because that's what he is now.
A hostage?
That's right. Von Berghoff took him with him. And that's why I'm here, in fact.
Your original plan went badly awry, I must say.
Well, it could have been worse.
That's the way of the world. For my part, I'm forced into hiding, as you've probably noticed. They're after me as if I owed taxes. Ah, if only I knew what Jobst would say.
I know exactly what he'd say as it happens.
You do?
I spoke to Jobs just after we arrived at Suchdal. He expressly forbade me to look for you, or try to rescue Capon.
That damned... Did he say why?
Aye. He said you can look after yourself. And as a nobleman, Capon has nothing to fear in captivity.
Ah, Jobst.
He's right about Capon. He's wrong about John of Liechtenstein.
If we cause trouble for Sigismund, it could threaten his plans, he said. That's cowardice if you ask me.
It's true I can take care of myself, but the old schemer could at least have warned me, whatever his plans might be.
Zizka sees Jobst as a pain in the arse, too. I mean, he's not fond of him. And he doesn't approve of his plan.
Then I expect he and I will see eye to eye. Although I prefer a different strategy to braining all and sundry with a mace. Even so, what brings you to me? You didn't take this risk just to tell me what Jobst is like, or that I should carry on with what I'm doing.
No. My first concern is to rescue Lord Capon, whatever schemes Jobst is dreaming up.
And then...
And also, it's about your safety.
My safety?
You know, they tortured us. Zizka, Godwin and me. They asked about Jobst's plans and about you. I'd have held out, but Godwin... He told them where you were.
Where I am? In this city, you mean? That's not such a terrible betrayal. Gutenberg is a big city. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack.
Not that they have not tried. They almost caught you a couple of times. If it were not for my people.
That's true, of course. But I'm not going to bear a grudge. The executioner always gets what he wants. And if he hadn't, we wouldn't be talking right now.
Thank you. You don't know how much it means to me.
Don't worry your head over it. If I was tortured, I'd tell them everything I knew before the iron was hot.
Well, thanks.
But I'd regret it as well. I don't like pain, that's all. Nevertheless, let's turn the page. Capon. How do you plan to free him?
That's exactly why I came to see you.
Oh, how's that?
Because you move in certain circles.
And...
You conspire. You hear all the rumors.
So?
So you might know where they're holding him.
Sigismund confiscated the property of some burghers and noblemen in the city when they opposed him, and he divided the property up between his loyal followers. He seized Malyshoff Fortress from the Rutards, for instance. And didn't you say, Sam, that he gifted it to von Berkoff?
Yes, that is so.
That was before von Berkoff was in these parts. But if he's here now, where else would he be but in Malyshoff? And if von Berkoff is there...
That's where his captive will be.
Correct. Capon is at Malyshoff Fortress.
Well, that's fucked then. How the hell three of us conquer a fortress, and one of us a woman?
That's a conquest I'd like to see. It would go down in history.
The history of suicidal madness.
You can't just launch an assault on Malyshoff. It's a strong fortress. We'll need a cunning plan.
Or long ladders and lots of men. That could be arranged, maybe.
Careful! Jobst ordered us not to stir up trouble. And this would be serious trouble. But if Capon simply vanished...
Vanished how, exactly?
I don't know yet. But like I said, Malyshoff belonged to the Rutards. and I'm sure they're not keen on the new tenant. I think if you pay a visit to Sir Kunslin Rutard and convince him you have common interests, he'll be happy to think up a solution with you.
Like what?
Who knows? Perhaps Lord Rutard knows of a back door into his old home, and he might not be averse to an arrangement with someone who will help him take revenge.
Someone like you.
Well, I wouldn't get my hopes up. But it's the best we've got, and there's no harm in trying. Where can I find this Kunslin?
Sigismund seized his fortress, but, surprisingly, he let him keep his palace in the city. It's right next to the Italian court.
All right. I'll give it a go.
Once you have some news, you know where to find me. Is there anything you want to know before you go?
Technically, I don't know where to find him yet. Well, okay, yeah, I didn't read the voice line.
Come to think of it, I've no idea where we actually are.
Of course. I'd forgotten how you got here.
We're in the Jewish quarter, in the basement of the King Solomon Tavern, below my tavern. Goyim do not just wander in here, but I will tell my people you are with us.
Thanks a whole lot. All right, I'll set off now.
Good luck. It was good to see you again, Henry. And be careful. There's bound to be spies swarming around the palace. This city isn't safe.
Tell me about it. Danger is my daily bread these days.
That it is. That is actually where it is. Wow, I was literally right here. Cool. Oh, that? Okay, I haven't been there. I thought you meant this. All right. I'm hungry. Okay. Speedy boy.
You shouldn't be out here alone.
Come here.
So funny how fast you actually go. My speed is 27 and it's 30 if I'm Jesus. First things first, let's sleep. Don't need that much sleep. Let's see. Is this still? Yep, it's still control.
I'm telling you, Conrad's going to win the tournament.
And I'm telling you, he doesn't stand a chance.
Conrad.
Oh, well, my God.
Did you hear that Dirk Stallion is shaving Nuzzle's old woman? If you know it, then so does half the town.
Easy. Nice and slow.
around. You won't believe this. A whole village burnt to the ground. Hear ye! Let it be known that a new one...
This place. Yeah, I always just went past it.
I have not changed my answer. I will not sell you the rights to my mines. Not today, not tomorrow, nor in 100 years. You will not get your hands on my silver.
You forget I have influential friends. If you won't sell the mines, you'll lose them. Just like Malashov. Along with your life, if you defy me.
Mind your step. Two can play that game. Did you really think that I didn't know you were stealing the royal silver, eh? When your self-proclaimed king finds that out, your head will be on the chopping block.
Seize that traitor!
Not another step.
You'll get yours too, turtle dove. What are you waiting for? Can't you see? They're threatening the Royal Mint Master!
He even looked like a rat.
Bash him on the head! Hey! Now you're spraying blood! Through! You won't be able to... For Christ's sake! Slice him out! Come on then!
Damn.
You all right, sir?
Papa!
I'm all right. What the hell was that, Rosa?
I saved your life. Didn't you notice?
We would have been in the right if you hadn't taken the shot. Now we have... Do you have any idea?
Was I supposed to let one of Sigismund's lackeys insult us in our own home?
And you thought this was a better solution?
You know what? Let's just leave it be. I don't want to argue in front of the young man here. Apologies for the mess, stranger. There aren't usually so many corpses strewn about our courtyard.
I should be the one apologising. Some of it is my handiwork.
It won't be your concern, though. I promise. We'll call the guards and tell them what happened. That Ulrich Vavak and his men attacked us for no reason.
You think that will make them let us off the hook?
Not for free. But knowing young Plimo, the commander of the guard, I'm sure he won't refuse my coin. But back to you, lad.
I'm Henry of Skalitz, squire to Lord Capon of Perkstein.
Pleased to meet you. Conslin Routard. And this feisty creature here is my daughter Rosa.
Like father, like daughter.
Why did your master send you to me, Henry?
He didn't, sir. Unfortunately, he's in enemy captivity.
We're sorry to hear that.
But I plan to rescue him. And I believe you can help me with that.
We can? How?
Lord Capon is held at Malashov.
Our Malashov? I don't envy him. I was planning on fixing the roof before they took it from us. It's full of leaks.
I doubt its new master will lift a finger to do anything about it. But tell me, why would I meddle in matters that don't concern me?
Well, we all stand on the same side. Against Sigismund.
That is undoubtedly true. I don't like that ginger bastard either. Especially since his people started sticking their fingers in my coffers. But to get involved in something as dangerous as freeing a captured nobleman in a territory conquered by Sigismund?
We have to do something to help. I know it's dangerous.
Dangerous? It's madness. What if somebody finds out?
Nobody will know.
You haven't been in Kuttenberg for long, have you? The walls have ears here. I'd only end up with my head on the chopping block. And I don't even want to think about what they'd do to Rosa.
That's true. As long as Vavak's breathing down our necks, we have to be careful.
Who is he, anyway?
Ulrich Vavak von Neuhaus. The new mint master appointed by Sigismund himself. He's had it in for us ever since he took over the office. He's been pressuring me to hand over my mining rights. It seems he'd like to see me reduced to a beggar. And now we've killed his men. The king's men. I'll have to reach deep into my pocket to get out of that. Like Rosa said, lad, as long as Vavak is around...
So there we go, extremely blunt, like, cool, so should I just kill Vavak?
Should I kill him?
Christ almighty!
I don't doubt you could pull it off, but it wouldn't help anything. Sigismund's people are like the Hydra. You chop off one head, and another grows back in its place. No, killing won't solve it. It's obvious Vavak is getting richer than his office warrants. There are he even uses it to mint counterfeit groschen, using a fake dye. If Sigismund were to find out, he'd have him executed at once, regardless of his noble...
But you need evidence to make such an accusation, right?
Exactly.
But how do we find it?
Some of the silver goes missing somewhere along the way to the mint. And we have to find out where.
Find out? But how? They don't let just anyone into the mines and smelting works.
You're right. Only authorized people are allowed in. Fortunately, we have an ally. My friend Peter of Pisek. They ousted him from the Mint Master's office, but his brother Christian remained in the Italian court. He wanted to become the Mint Master himself, but because of Vavak, he had to settle for the steward's office. He hates him even more than we do on account of it.
And that's saying something.
Christian and I were just talking about his suspicions. He'd welcome any dirt you can dig up on Vavak, just as much as I would. If you go to him and ask for help on my behalf, I'm sure he'll accommodate you. I'll help you free Lord Capon in exchange for evidence of Vavak's fraud. That's fair, isn't it?
All right. It's a deal. I've already met Peter of Pisek, and I know he can be trusted. Let's hope the same goes for his brother.
Excellent. You'll find Christian and Horshan at the estate near the mines. Tell him the password, Via Argentum, the pot of silver. He'll know who he's dealing with. But be careful, both of you. This is our last chance to stop Vavak.
We'll be praying for you.
Is that 2,000 for those leggings? Oh shit, it was.
What are you roaming around here for?
Easy, good horse.
In silver scallops, they say, without warning. Like human beings. In one afternoon, they burned down the whole village, killed all the villagers, and drove the local lord out of his own castle. You see what that ginger fox Sigismund is doing to our land? He wants to burn us all. Go home quick and start praying. Only God can save us from the foreign horde.
Nice and safe.
I didn't imagine we'd hear about scouts from a town crier.
What do you want?
I'd like...
I
I'd like...
don't...
I can't.
Great.
I'm glad...
All right.
There's nothing here for you. You'd better pay me compensation, you blackguard.
We can work this out.
You've no business here. Pay up.
Now hold on.
And don't...
Easy. Nice and slow. You said you needed some help with something. What's going on?
Something's happened. Oh, a real mess. And I need help from someone reliable.
What is it?
When I was fishing around for information about Liechtenstein, I cast the net a bit too wide. And one of the servant girls I questioned was just found dead.
You think she was killed because of you?
I don't know. If I did, I wouldn't be asking you for help.
I'll help you. Tell me all about it. Who was this dead girl?
Her name was Alice. She was an ordinary, pretty girl. She worked as a maid. I heard they found her all hacked up, tossed somewhere by the town wall. Oh, folk in town are saying it was absolute slaughter. They took the body to the morgue by the St. Peter and St. Paul cemetery.
I'll go take a look at her. See if I can find anything.
I think that would be for the best. Though, I don't think it'll be a very pretty sight. You can ask the gravedigger for details. He'll know the most.
When did you last see the girl?
Around a week ago?
And did you notice anything suspicious about her?
Not at all. She was always cheerful, lively. She was looking forward to a dance. Though I'm afraid she won't be dancing ever again.
What was Alice trying to find out for you?
She always brought me the freshest gossip overheard from her master. And lately, what the other maids in town were saying.
And did you learn anything important from her? Something someone would kill her for?
That's the thing. All she brought me was gossip. Who was cheating on who wasn't going to confession, those sorts of things. So you'll have to figure out the rest for yourself.
What about your other girls? Are they all right?
Yes, fortunately. I'm careful enough to keep them pretty much in the dark about my plans. That's why Alice's death shocked me so much.
What are you gonna do next?
I'd like to ask the others if they noticed anything suspicious. If someone is following them and the like, but...
But you don't want to scare them.
I'm scared myself. For them. Maybe nobody knows about them yet. If someone was to follow me, I could give them away. And I can't risk that. I don't want anyone else to die because of me.
What if I go and see them?
They don't know you, Henry. You'd only scare them. I'll figure something out. In the meantime, find out everything you can about Alice.
Do you think there could be something bigger behind the murder?
I don't know. Maybe she just got caught up in something. But it's strange. Why would someone do her like that? That's the kind of thing you do when you want to send someone a message.
What if this just ends up being a serial killer?
Why did you ask me in particular for help?
Because you're the only one I know here.
Aha.
But don't take it the wrong way. I'm actually glad it's you. You're pretty reliable. Not even Zhishka would be of much help to me here.
Aha. Thanks. I know everything I need.
Good. Go to that graveyard, talk to the gravedigger, and take a look at that poor girl's body. In the meantime, I'll try to find out more. Then we'll put it all together, and I'll be damn up with something.
Doesn't it?
I'll have a beer.
Save your whistling, cow.
Slowly. Nice and slow. Whoa!
What an occasion, eh? Will he go?
Easy, good horse. What's the matter?
Alice. She was almost like a sister to me. We served together for years, in the same house. Why'd you ask? Who are you?
I'm trying to find out who did this to her. I'm afraid the killer might want to go after my friend as well.
Ah, I understand.
Who did you serve?
Our master is a local merchant. He is trying his hand at trading wine.
How did Alice get along with your master?
Fine. Just like with everyone. Our master is a bit strict, but he's fair.
What's his name? Can I speak to him?
Why? But you can't see him anyway. He's on a trade trip to Prague.
It occurred to me that maybe he could have done it.
He couldn't. He was gone when it happened. He hadn't been home in several weeks. And besides, why would he kill them others too? He never even knew them.
What others?
You haven't heard. A few girls, like our Alice, died before. All really pretty girls.
Do you know of any suitors she might have had?
I know she was seeing someone. Why?
I'd like to talk to him as well.
But I don't know who it was. Alice said he was rich and dressed nicely, but she promised him she'd never tell anyone his name.
And you never saw him?
No, never. I don't even know where she met with him.
Do you know what exactly happened to Alice?
No. Nobody saw or heard nothing. One day she just didn't come home. And then they found her. Like this.
What do you mean, like this?
You haven't seen her yet, have you?
I haven't.
Then don't. It's a horrible thing to see. She was such a pretty girl. She had such beautiful brown hair. And it didn't even leave that untouched.
What do you mean?
Who could have cut off her hair like that? And why? None of it makes sense.
So, I'll leave you to mourn in peace now.
It's definitely sounding more and more like a serial killer.
So, let's see what we have here. My God! Someone really did a number on her. Oh, they ripped open her entire belly. And they didn't stop there. There must have been buckets of blood. Jesus Christ. There's hardly any blood left in her. The place they found her must look like a slaughterhouse. I should go there and take a look. Her lips are bloody, but nothing more. Tongue still in place. But if he killed her for blabbing, I reckon he'd have cut out her tongue or something, wouldn't he? These are more like chops than cuts. Somebody must have taken a sword to her. Knife wounds would be smaller, and an axe would have made a bigger mess. But it couldn't have been a long sword. That would have been clumsy. It was something shorter and nimbler. God, that madman cut off both her breasts and bits of flesh. But what did he do with it all afterwards?
Are you sure we want to know that, Henry?
Did he really keep all the pieces? Nobody could be that sick, could they?
Now, that was a perfect moment for a dark joke, because he could have been like, actually, on second thought, yeah, they could be.
So sorry.
Her face is a little bruised and cut, but nobody cut her there. But she has a dark ring around her neck. Was she strangled? The murderer must have had pretty strong hands, and her hair is all matted with blood and hacked off. I don't even know what colour it was. Maybe there's something more to it. What if the murderer kept her hair like some kind of sick trophy? Just some scratches and bruises, that's all. The killer probably surprised her. She didn't even have time to defend herself. So, the murderer must have awfully strong hands, because he strangled her and left a dark ring around her neck. Then he took a short sword or saber and started hacking at her. She's missing parts of her torso, but they are by the body. He also cut off most of her hair. He cut off her breasts, but left her tongue, then left her lying there for all to see. To send a message, maybe? Or a warning? Only if it was a warning for telltales, he would have cut out her tongue or something, wouldn't he? I don't know why he killed her, but I don't think it's because of Catherine.
Good afternoon, sir.
You must be the local gravedigger.
That's right. They call me František. At least them that can speak do. Ha!
I'm Henry.
Greetings, Henry. What do you need?
That dead girl you have in the morgue. Alice.
You've seen her? Poor thing. Who could have done such a thing?
Well, that's what I'm trying to find out. Do you know anything about her?
She's gone to meet her maker. What more do you want to know? You want to take away a piece of her? Well, you can't. Not a hair off her head, a bloody scrap of cloth, or a thumb. You hear?
I don't want to take anything. I need to find something out.
Like what exactly?
Who killed her?
Why?
Yeah, I feel like I want justices. But now let's say I'm worried.
I'm worried
It's
something
more
might happen
believable.
to my friend.
That's true. She wasn't the first, and we can only pray that she'll be the last. It's true that Lumiere ain't shown no interest in her yet. I wouldn't expect that from him no more.
Who's this Lumiere? Another one of those gawkers and collectors?
No, no. He actually tried to help.
Help? How?
Well, he was investigating them others.
Right. You said she wasn't the first.
Aye. We had a couple of similar cases. Lumiere said they was all killed by the same murderer.
And how did he come to that conclusion?
How do I know? Best ask Lumiere yourself.
Do you remember how many girls were killed?
You mean you don't know nothing about it? Here, even the sparrows are squawking about it.
I haven't been in Kuttenberg very long.
I see. There's been one every few weeks for the past year.
Yep, it's definitely a serial killer, considering Catherine's only been in the city for 2 weeks, I'd want to say. But that's a complete guess, because, you know, canonically time goes slower in this game than actually. I've probably spent half a year in this fucking town already.
Do you know where the last one got killed?
I heard some talk about it when they brought her here. But what do you want to do there?
Look for clues. Footprints, blood, anything.
That can help you?
That's worth a try.
I heard she was killed by the town walls, close to the Hole in the Wall, a dodgy tavern in the Hoprink neighborhood.
Thanks. What's this Lumiere got to do with this?
Well, like I told you, he used to work for the bailiff. I think he was a scribe.
A scribe keeps records in the Black Chronicle, though I've never heard of one doing his own investigations.
Well, the old bailiff wasn't all that interested in the common folk. But Lumiere, he was quite helpful. Folk heard about it and went to him with whatever was troubling them.
I'd like to speak with Lumiere. Do you know where I can find him?
At his home in Bohemia Street, that's near the church. You won't find him at the bailiff's no more. I don't know exactly why, though. Seems he had some quarrel with the bailiff.
Thanks. You've been a big help.
It's my pleasure, especially helping someone from the land of the living again. Actually, wait a mo. Speaking of the living, there's a girl what comes here and grieves over that dead maid. I think her name is Barbara.
I know. I've already spoken to her.
Aha. Good then. Lots of luck to you. God be with you, good sir.
Okay. So we have a serial killer. Let's see, the crime is over there. That's where she got killed, and this is where the detective.
Easy, good horse.
Someone's been pampering.
No, that's him, isn't it?
Oh. Christ, my head. Not so loud.
I need to ask you something.
I said not so loud. I have a splitting headache.
That's some hangover. He's useless to me like this. Unless I'm willing to wait for him to sleep it off, I'll have to get him... This should sober him. No.
Oh.
Lumiere?
Oh.
He's still... nothing like a little head.
Oh.
Lumiere?
Oh.
He's still...
Oh.
Lumiere?
Oh.
Do I actually need to get him a potion?
Lumiere?
Oh.
He's still...
Oh.
If he's here 24/7 just vomiting, that's a sad existence. Yep. In that case, time to go see the alchemist.
Easy, good.
And there's only one in this city, so...
Good horse.
Jugs here, big and small. Jugs for sale. That's where you're wrong. A wonderful day for a wonderful purchase.
Versehen.
Grüß Gott.
Hola, but
Inexpensive, but I need more savior schnapps, so.
Danke und viel Glück für die Zukunft.
Schön, dich zu sehen.
I'm thinking of going back to, what's it called even? The zone. The old area, the other one, and selling some stuff. Yeah.
Oh, you mutt.
Easy, good horse.
I swear, if he's sobered up now. After I bought all this shit, for fuck's sake.
Mary said, "Behold, I am the handmaid."
Lumiere?
What? Who?
My name is Henry.
And what do you want from me?
I'm trying to find out who killed a certain girl. And I was sent to you.
To me?
Are you Lumiere from the Rat House? The scribe?
I used to be. Now I'm just Lumiere the Madman.
Well, you don't look crazy.
Yeah. But I am. I see things in my head that aren't real. And then I point my finger at the wrong people. I'm the biggest madman in Kuttenberg.
He's got schizophrenia.
But I need your help.
If I were you, lad, I'd leave it be. You can't help that girl anymore, anyway. You'll just end up hurting yourself.
Come now, Lumiere.
Poor girls. Nobody was all that interested in it, except for me. We let it be in the end. We let a monster walk among us. No way. You can't solve this yourself.
She deserves justice. I simply can't let her killer run free.
You mean well. But you don't know what you're getting yourself into. I searched high and low. And what did I get out of it? Just mockery. What makes you think you can find out more than I did?
A fresh perspective. Fuck, I don't know.
Because I know people, and can easily convince them. In the end, they spill their guts.
Is that so? What about me? Do you think I'll spill my guts too?
Well, a moment ago you were moaning in pain, and now you're deliberating whether or not to tell me what you know.
All right. Talk to me. Who was this dead girl?
Her name was Alice. She worked as a maid.
A maid? That fits. Yarka was a maid too. As were most of the other victims. What did she look like? What did he do to her?
I think that he strangled her first, and then went at her with a longer blade and disemboweled her.
Did you notice the strangulation right away? It took me a while. Maybe you really will track him down.
Do you think it's the same murder?
Counting your girl, that makes 6 victims who were first strangled and then mutilated. If it's not all the same person, they must be collaborating somehow.
This is the 6th one. How long has he been killing?
Probably about a year now. Sometimes it takes him months, sometimes weeks. But I'm including missing girls. Stanya and Zdena.
So, 8?
Why are you counting the missing girls?
Because I think someone killed them, and we just haven't found them yet.
Did the dead girls have anything in common?
Aside from being pretty young girls with no proper family or background, no. I couldn't find much.
Do you think somebody is killing them because they're poor, and nobody will miss them?
Certainly. If somebody killed the daughter of a local lord, no stone would be left unturned.
But why does he even kill in the first place?
I don't
Serial
know.
killer.
Maybe he hates women. Damn it. I feel like I'm going in circles and can't get out.
What can you tell me about Yarka?
She wasn't the first. But thanks to her, people started taking an interest. She was a maid in a German family. By all accounts, she was a pious, polite girl. She was orphaned as a child. The priest from the Church of St. Peter and Paul, Father Prokop, raised her. They found her body tossed behind a barn at the edge of town. She was cut all the way from her neck downwards. An awful sight to behold.
Did you have any suspects?
At first, I thought the son from that family did it. A murderer is usually someone close, you know. But then I changed my mind.
Why?
Well, for one, I remembered the two girls before her who ended up almost the same. Besides that, when I talked to the lad, he seemed he wasn't the least bit interested in Yarka. Then his mother told me that they threw her out a week before the murder because she was a harlot who stayed out till all hours of the night. That really surprised me, because Father Prokop had vouched for her good reputation. But who knows? Maybe he just didn't want to admit what had become of her.
Maybe he's the one that killed her.
What about Stanya?
She was an alehouse wench in a tavern of ill repute called the Hole in the Wall.
You said her body was never found. Maybe she just got out of town.
You have no idea how much I'd like to believe that. Only there was a lot of blood. Unfortunately, the investigation wasn't very successful. The Hole is a world of its own, and the people there aren't very forthcoming with information.
Did you suspect anybody?
You could suspect every second man there. Those people have nothing but thievery and deceit in their eyes. The innkeeper, Mole, definitely knew Stanya, since she worked for him. But he isn't all that chatty either.
So if I want to learn anything more, I have to ask this Mole? In the hole?
Yeah. He still runs the place.
And what about that Zdena? You said her body was never found.
Exactly. But to tell the truth, nobody spent much time looking for it. Besides Alice, Zdena was the most recent victim. It's only been a few weeks since she went missing, but I suppose nobody wanted to do any more digging.
But if her body was never found, how do you know she was killed?
Because she was the same type as the other girls. Maybe the prettiest of them all. Young, beautiful. A real live one. Lively as the devil. She was a thief. A pickpocket. I never could pin it on her, though. She always found some way to get out of it.
Maybe she robbed the wrong people and had to get out of town.
Maybe. She had a partner in crime by the name of Strunad. Quite a number. He's always sitting in the hole, boozing. When I asked him about Zdena, he told me he'd rather rip his own tongue out than talk.
Do you think he'd be more forthcoming with me?
He might be. You're not known all over town like a catchpole. It's worth a try. Besides, it might still be fresh in his memory. That would be a great help.
And what about the other two victims?
It all started with them, though nobody did much about it at the time. The first one worked as a bathhouse maid. They called her Chestnut. She'd only been in town for a short while, and nobody really knew her. So I couldn't find out anything more. But the other one, Libushka, she was from Loretz. She was a maidservant, too. I also talked to her mother. She said she was really cheerful and outgoing. There were lots of suitors circling around her, but she refused them all. She knew she was pretty and knew she could do better than some farmhand.
You mean she wanted someone higher up?
That's what it sounded like. But her mother never found out who she had her eye on.
Interesting. I'll try to see what else I can find out from the mother. Where can I find her?
In the graveyard, lad. The poor woman died of grief. It's sad to say, but we can't help those two dead girls now. And they can't help us with our investigation either. There's nobody else left who could tell us anything about them.
Why were you looking into it? Who were those dead girls to you?
I don't know what people told you about me, but for many long years I was a scribe for Kuttenberg's bailiff. Kuttenberg is a big city with a lot of people. Silver, silver, silver. Mining it, smelting it, stealing it. There's always something going on. The bailiff was always running from hell to Hades, from one rich man to another, settling their quarrels. Often trivial nonsense.
But there are more than just rich burghers and lords in the city.
Exactly. There are common folk, too. There's a lot more of them, and their troubles are usually more serious. So when one of them came to the bailiffs one time, and the bailiff was running around somewhere, I started to deal with it myself. I was pretty good at it, too.
Behind the bailiff's back?
Not really. Andreas supported my activities until recently.
What happened?
I don't want to talk about it. Sorry.
Did you have any suspects back then?
You can always find some suspect. I always dragged the most suspicious ones to the body in the morgue by force. And they threw up at the sight. Or fainted.
Couldn't it have just been an act?
Fainting? Vomiting? That's hard to act. I'd swear none of them did it.
Can you sum it all up for me?
We have 6 victims here. And I believe they were all murdered by the same killer. Unfortunately, we only know a little about the last 4. The most recent ones. By now, we won't learn anything about the first 2. Of the remaining 4, the first to be killed was the maidservant, Yarka. She was raised by Father Prokop from the Church of St. Peter and Paul. He should know the most about her. The next were Stanya and Zdena. Their bodies weren't found, but we assume they also became victims of the same murderer. They both hung around a tavern they called the Hole in the Wall. Stanya was an alehouse maid, and Zdena a pickpocket. And the last victim is Alice now, also a maid. What they all have in common is that they were young, beautiful, and brunette.
Good.
When you learn something more, you've aroused a bit of hope in me, lad.
Another connection seems to be that they're all in a relationship with some sort of noble. But who knows?
That old priest was completely hammered again.
Easy, good horse.
Good day to you. What brings you here?
Father, I need to ask you a few questions.
I don't have time for theological discussions, my son.
That's not why I'm here. My name's Henry, and I wanted to ask about the murder that happened recently. Someone killed and gutted a young maidservant and left her body lying by the city walls. And I hear it's not the first time this has happened.
Another one murdered. May the Lord grant her eternal rest. Why is it you ask?
I fear for my sister. She's also a maid.
Yes. Fear for those close to you is commendable. What would you like to hear?
One of the other victims was a girl named Yarka. But I reckon you know that, don't you? What can you tell me about her?
About Yarka? She was an ordinary girl. She served the von Groll family.
Where did you know Yarka from?
I knew her since she was a little girl. Knew her family.
And?
I was her uncle. When my brother and his wife died, I took care of her.
Who do you think killed her?
William, that pig of Satan. He gambles in the tavern on All Saints' Day and leads the locals astray. Yarka always went there to listen to music.
Why do you think it was William? Do you have any evidence?
Evidence? He's a skirt chaser, a tool of Satan. He messes with poor girls' heads.
And does anyone else come to mind? No other man spoke with her?
No. Absolutely not.
You raised her? A priest with a child?
Yes. Unfortunately, I'm not the first of the clergy to have a child on the side. But at least everyone knew Yarka wasn't my own daughter.
How...
When she was...
No offense, but... How did you know what to do? Without a wife, without a family? I would have been lost.
I was a bit, son. When she was smaller, it was fine, but... When she grew up a bit, maybe I was too hard on her.
Why do you think you were too hard on her?
Yarko was an orphan, with no family and no possessions. Her only chance of a good life was a good upbringing. And then, a husband. But the more I led her in that direction, the more she resisted me.
You're well off, though. Couldn't you provide for her?
I couldn't. Even if she had been my very own. More so, since she was my brother's.
But how come?
The church's property always remains the church's. They keep a close eye on that.
How did she rebel against you?
She wouldn't listen. She ran away. She ran around with all sorts. And how did it turn out? She died. And in sin. Such a disgrace.
Disgrace? What the devil are you talking about?
She was pregnant! Even if she had lived, what then? Nobody would want to marry her anymore.
Why don't you respect Lumir?
That's my business. You need... I won't tell you anything.
Come now, Father. I'm not just asking out of curiosity. This is about all the dead girls. Isn't it written in Scripture, speak up for those who have no voice?
A layman quotes the Bible to me. Fine. Lumir accused me of her murder.
What?
Yes. He slandered me in public.
And how... What happened then?
It turned out he was deranged. How could he even think such a thing? He's finished in Kuttenberg.
I've heard enough, Father. I'll be going.
Son, I'll give you some good advice. Don't listen to Lumir. That man has gone completely mad.
Jesus Christ be praised.
God bless.
Easy. 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 Nice and slow.
Guilty again. Damn it.
Good day. Greetings to you too.
Hey! Greetings, my friend.
Did Estanya work here?
Stanya. Maybe. It depends on who...
My name's Henry.
Names don't interest me. What kind of guest are you, Henry?
Greetings to you.
I'm a good guest.
Really? Let's see. Do you know how to recognize a good guest?
by whether he's got coin.
Aye. No coin. I like talking to... So, what...
What if I simply paid you, and you tell me what I want to know?
Ask away.
I want to know if Stanya works here.
She did. And she don't know more. What's it to you?
I heard she disappeared without a trace. So I'm trying to find out if anyone had anything to do with it.
It's possible. The chamber she was sleeping in here was totally ransacked. The door open. Everything emptied out. And Stanya was gone. All I found were bloody footprints.
Tell me something else.
First, you'll have another beer.
What?
If you want to up. I prefer to be called an enterprise. So, what...
I'm getting tired of this. I'll give you the money now you're gonna spin it.
All right.
Did anybody see what actually happened when Stanya disappeared?
No, it was at night. Nobody saw or heard anything. The tavern tends to be empty at that hour. And you won't meet many people on the street, neither.
What was Stanya like? What can you tell me about her?
A bold woman. One has to be here. Everyone's ballsy here unless you nip it in the bud right away. She was hanging around a bard for a while. I don't know how close they were, but she also had another suitor.
Someone from the city?
No, a charcoal burner. I heard he was from somewhere in the, Verchlitz Valley. I think his name was Barton?
What do you know about that bard?
What about him? He's a minstrel, a skirt chaser. What more can I say? He called himself William. As far as I know, he plays in the Miners' Tavern in the evenings. But sometimes he shows up here, too.
You think he might have been the one who...
Now that you mention it, he cleared out of town for a while and only came back not long ago. It could be him, all right. I know he met with some odd people and talked about God knows what. Like bloody spies. Besides, you know what minstrels are like. Lasses just flock to them. And like they say, opportunity makes the thief.
Or in this case, a murderer. Apart from those men, did anyone else know Stanya? I mean, more intimately?
Well, I got bad news for you. She had two close... them.
Why?
One was hit by a cart. Disappeared. And she died. One got married and moved away.
How did Stanya's room look?
The door was wide open. Most of her things were gone, but some remained. And there was blood all over the place.
Blood? Was there a lot?
Not so much, really. More like hand or footprints. But they were near everywhere. If someone done her in, they definitely didn't do it in that chamber.
Where can I find this Barton?
I already told you. In the Verchlitz Valley.
Could you be a bit more precise?
I don't know that bloke at all. All I know is he's a charcoal burner. So if I was you, I'd look somewhere around the charcoal kilns.
That's all I need to know.
Excuse me?
Are you Sternad? The one that went with Zdenna?
Who the fuck are you?
Just an ordinary bloke who has some questions.
Well then, piss off. You won't get all you're gonna get here. Cockpuller! I'll kill you!
Well, had enough?
Fuck yeah, damn it. What the hell do you want from me?
Talk! Where's Zdenna?
The last time I saw her, it's a long time ago. She scored big. Everyone was fucking jealous. She just needed to pawn it off.
And where did she go with her loot? Do you know?
Well, she had some kind of arrangement with this fella called Pint from the mill. The one called Rabstein. She always took the stuff to him.
Do you remember what she managed to steal?
Mainly jewels, gold and silver.
No bloody pewter. She had some fucking huge golden signet ring. A bloke could fuck for a whole month with something like that.
Do you know whose crest was on it?
I don't know, I'm no expert. But it were bloody expensive, that's for sure.
Do you know who she took it off?
She always said she found it on the street. That's because if the wrong ears hear it, you can end up in the shit. Or on the gallows, even.
Did she hang out with any men?
She liked to hang around with that crooner that plays for the miners in that tavern of theirs. Made him sing songs and that. Oh, and once she got in a quarrel with that fucking priest Prokop. That was a laugh.
Could she have run away with that bard?
I doubt it. He was a bit of a milksop. He tried to be all mysterious and play the tough fella, but you could see he was lying. And Zdenna could see right through him, I bet.
Why do you think so?
Because he was getting on my nerves, so I cornered him in a dark alley one time. He ran away so fast, I bet he shit himself.
And what about this priest? Why was he quarrelling with her?
I don't know. He was blabbering some shit about finding her a job, only she didn't want it.
Stop that whistling! You're behaving like a child.
I'll be right
I am now starting to get tired. And it might be time to go to bed. Before I go to bed, I need to upload the previous VOD from earlier. Right. So it'll be this one. Oop, wrong tab. Okay. There's 3 quests here then. Anyway, yeah. I think I want to end it here. And tomorrow, I don't know where to go, but I'll probably here. I think this is the coach. But I think I'm gonna go to the old zone. If I can. Kinda wanna try and sell some of the stolen armor and weapons that I have. Another thing I could sell that would be probably worth a decent penny is the books that I have, because I have a shitload of books in my storage. What was that? The indulgence chest, of course. Anyway, gonna end the stream here. I know I said I wouldn't come back, but I just felt like playing for another hour. So, gute Nacht.